I'm going to try this again. Scott Troutman, who's been watching the show, has said that this episode has been soundless for a little bit of time. So I just want to verify this as well. I'm going to send this link to everybody out there. Part 2 of... Sorry about this. I should have done this before I came live, but I just want to get it out there. Now, I'll put Scott Troutman on it. Paste at Scott Shot. All right, there's X out of that. Hopefully it'll work. So I'm going to try this again and see if it works. I'm going to send Scott a tweet to check it out. All right, can you hear me now, Scott? Let's just test this out real quick, because if you can't hear me, I might have to just drop this episode and delete it and just shut down the computer and restart again, which I really don't want to do because it's almost 11 o'clock and I still got another show to do after this. So, Scott, can you hear me? If you can hear me, Scott, please. Okay, you're back. Good. All right, I don't know what it was, Scott, but thank you for letting me know. I'm glad someone was watching, keeping track of that for me. For those who don't know, my buddy Scott Troutman, who I'm definitely got to get you on the show, man, because you're a lifesaver, said that my sound was screwy. They couldn't hear me for a lot of the time, so I had to redo the Hangout. And hopefully now we can get back to the situation, though. So just to reiterate the parts, I think it died right after the peanut butter and jelly Oreo, so I think probably the computer didn't like the sound of that, so they just went like that. I talked about 3 NFL players who retired from football at a young age, including a rookie, because of the concussion test that was done on the brains of football players who had passed away. And they discovered the concussion. There was that these brains showed signs of concussion in, there's like say 80 brains in 77 of them. So these people are like, I don't want to live the rest of my life being in concussion. And Scott left me. Why'd you leave me, Scott? I'm just gonna ask him again. Still hear me okay? There you go. Covered that. I covered my Uncle Sam Shepard died. He's not really my Uncle Sam, but it's a joke I like to say because he at one time was either married to or was dating Jessica Lange, and her last name is the same as mine, so I like to tell people that her name was, that we were related. She was my aunt and make him my uncle. He was a very gifted playwright, character actor in a lot of movies, including The Pelican Brief, which he was in with John Hurd, who passed away recently as well. And Stanley Tucci was the other name I blanked on. I also talked about the layout of an Outback Steakhouses, and this one I'm going to start over again because I don't think you heard me, Scott. I was in the middle of all this stuff, so you might have heard all that. So to reiterate, somebody discovered on Reddit, I think, that if they put dots on a map of all the locations of Outback Steakhouses in their area and connected it, it was a satanic star symbol. A pentagram, sorry, pentagram was a pentagram. It formed a pentagram. So they're like, whoa, what the hell? And so they tried it at a bunch of other different maps and locations, and the same thing appeared on other maps other than their area. So they're like, hey, what's going on with that? That's kind of weird that, you're making pentagrams where your shops are. What's up with that? Are you guys, sacrificing deliciousness to the devil? I don't know. So that's an interesting theory. And the No More Moon Man statue for the VMAs on MTV. As I said, MTV doesn't even show videos anymore, so why they even have a Video Music Awards show? Do they use YouTube videos, I guess, that the singers make? And then they used to give out the Moon Man statue, which is really cool. It looked like a man on the moon, the flag. It was, their award because the whole moon thing when MTV started in '81. So now they're not doing that anymore. So I don't even know what the award's going to look like. I don't care because I haven't even watched MTV in years. They're all more along lines of pop culture shows. So that was just fine. But change your name from MTV because you're not music television anymore. Seriously. And then I was in the middle of talking about Steve Bartman when I decided I was going to start over again. So I'm just going to start over with that storyline as well. Steve Bartman is, for those who don't know baseball, back a few years before the Cubs won the World Series, they were in the playoffs and had an opportunity that they were going to advance to the next level, and they were hoping that they thought they had a really good team and that they would go far in the playoffs, possibly even making it to their first World Series in years. So there's one game 6 in their playoff series, I guess it was. So it was probably the divisional series leading up to the World Series at that point. So they were like a couple outs away from getting the World Series. The Cubs were up like 3-1 in the 8th inning or whatever. And the Marlins were up, and they were at home in Chicago, and it was electric and all that stuff. And so 3-1, and a batter for the Marlins hits a ball into the outfield, and it's going. It looks like it's going to be a home run, but the Cubs outfielder is chasing it down, and it looks like that he might be able to make a great catch, and the game they'll get the last out, and they can go into bat, and or that could be the end of the game. I think they had to go into bat, and then they'd have to just hold them for another inning, and then they would maybe win and go to the World Series. But as any fan does at a baseball game, you have a ball coming for you. You're going to try to catch it. So a normal Joe, regular guy, trying to catch the ball in the outfield, interfered with the Cubs outfielder from catching the ball. He really thought he could catch it, but because Steve Bartman interfered with it, he missed it, and it was declared a home run. And then that point on, the Marlins came back and won that game, and they had to force a Game 7, and the Marlins trashed the Cubs. Now, everyone immediately scapegoated Bartman, which was stupid because they still had another game to play. Plus, they didn't have to give up. Okay, you give up a home run, it might be 3-2 now. You don't give up 6 more runs and let them go ahead 8-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning. You don't do that. You stop them, you pitch to them, you strike them out, you ground them, you do stuff like that to get them out, and if you don't and you end up losing the game, you have another 9 innings to play, okay, and you can win the game and you can lose the game, yes, but you just have to play better and win the game. They didn't play good. Everyone thought, they were so discouraged because of this. That's bullshit. Every game, once a game is done, you should move on to the next one thinking it's a whole brand new game and not think about the stuff that happened last time. And just go out there and do your best. Now, could the Marlins have thrown out their best pitcher? Yeah, but you know what? They still might have done it. Even if we would have caught the ball, there's still no guarantee that they weren't going to score all those runs again in the next inning. So regardless, it became so terrible for the poor guy. He was getting death threats. People were yelling at him, slurring his name, talking about him on the radio, just making his life a living hell. He was just a regular guy who wanted to try to catch a baseball. Everybody wants to when they go to a baseball game. They want to catch a baseball. That's all he wanted to do. That's all he wanted to do. He in no way was trying to make sure that the Marlins won, the Cubs lost. As I said, the Cubs had every opportunity to win that last game and move on. You lost the game, you move on. You could have lost the game without that situation happening, and then you'd be in the same boat again. What, would you blame it on something else if you end up not going to the World Series again? It was stupid. So this poor guy got run out of town, which is miserable because sports fans are idiots. I'm a sports fan. I can be an idiot sometime, but you know what? I would never trash somebody or threaten somebody, except that little pissant Jeffrey Mayer, who interfered with the game, the baseball catch the game, the Yankee game, get the Orioles, blah, blah, blah. That's besides the point. That's something else. Anyway, so his life was miserable. So flashback to last year, the Cubs have their magnificent run. They win the World Series. They finally win the World Series after 120 years, whatever, since they won the last one. And in a class move, because of the hell that this poor guy went through, the Chicago Cubs bought him, Bartman, a World Series ring, a real World Series ring with his name on it, exactly like the Chicago Cubs have, and gave it to him. So I got to give him credit. That's kind of a class act. I thought this was a good story. There are people out there that's like, oh, no, it's stupid and all this stuff. I don't know. I don't get it. Facebook shuts down a AI system they were working on after it invented its own language. Yeah, the computers fuck with the sound here. That's why you couldn't hear me before. They didn't like what I was saying. So, you know, you got to watch out for, you got to be nice to your computers because they're going to take over eventually. NASA job opening for a planetary protection officer, salary between $124,000 and $187,000 a year. Damn, that sounds nice. And your job is to protect the Earth against aliens. Not exactly. That was the clickbait they were using. This is from a couple days ago. They were doing stories that went viral, and NASA posted a job posting for a planetary protection officer. So people immediately gleaned on it and said, oh, they're going to protect the Earth from aliens. And that's the dumbest, this dumbest description of it. It's not the case. And the money is good too. As I said, $126,000 to $187,000 a year. I don't make that. I don't think you make that, Scott. I don't think really anybody who watches this show makes it. Dawn and I together don't make that. That's damn good money. But it's not protecting the Earth against aliens, people. That was your clickbait articles. What it basically is they're tasked with not contaminating other planets and moons, which means they need to make sure that any probes, anything that gets sent to Mars or Titan or Europa or Jupiter or whatever, if it somehow, well, first they want to make sure that it doesn't interfere with contaminating other planets with Earth viruses and germs and stuff like that that could kill bacteria or other stuff on these planets, and or any alien life on these planets, moons, whatever. They need to make sure that every probe or whatever they're sending is pristine and clean, and not a situation to do that. They also have to stop the spread of alien microbes, which is the sequence where they're saying, oh, they're going to protect it from aliens. A lot of stuff that comes back, be it meteorites that crash on Earth or some of the satellites, stuff like that might make their way back or whatever, they might be contaminated with space viruses as well. And so they want to, it's sort of backwards then. So now you need to protect the Earth from getting contaminated from, say, meteorites, stuff like that have organisms or whatever from other planets that could contaminate the Earth's ecosystem. So we're like, okay, you could probably do that, especially for that money. And then if aliens show up, then we kick their ass like Will Smith does. Not really, because you need a lot of experience to get this job, particularly for the pay they're offering, $124,000 to $187,000. You got to know everything you need to know about viruses and coming up with ideas to create clean probes and stuff like that. So it's not, but the whole clickbait thing was just, the NASA's going to pay you to protect the Earth from aliens. It's just dumb, but that's what they do. An Alaskan city's 4 police officer department all quit. I found this story fascinating because I'm sort of going through like this Alaskan phase right now. I read this book called Braving It, which I reviewed a couple episodes back, about a father and son, or not father, I'm sorry, father and daughter who explore Alaska and learn about the bush life and stuff like that. And James Campbell was the writer, and his descriptions of Alaska and the bush and all that stuff was phenomenal. So I've been looking on Amazon for other books that are similar. I found a whole load that I wanted to get, so I put them on my wish list to try to read. So I'm reading this article. There's a small town in Alaska called Sand Point. It's an island that's east of the peninsula, so it's not as cold, not as far up as cold, a bit further down, closer to Juneau, where it's a little bit more temperate, sort of like a Seattle type of temperate area. But it's such a small island that you only have a 4 police officer department. 4 police officers working in the police department to patrol and make sure it's a shipping lane type of thing, a place where lots of ships dock and stuff like that. And it's the police officer's job to make sure that, there's no fights that break out and no robberies and stuff like that. I mean, I highly doubt you're going to have any murders or anything like that in these small towns. I mean, it's possible you could, but, the reason why they're here is just to protect the people and feel good, because you want to have a police presence. Even if you're in a small town where no crime ever happens, you want to have someone where, just in case, maybe this one time something happens, and they can have somebody who can take care of it. So you have a 4-person police department in Sand Point. Now, one of the police officers quit because his wife was in the military, and she had to move to another location, be it San Francisco, Annapolis, Washington, D.C., wherever. She had to, Virginia Beach. She had to move somewhere away from Sand Point because her job was telling her, you've got to move here. And so her husband's not going to say, well, you go there, honey. I'll stay up here. No. So he's like, I'm leaving because my wife has got another job, and I have to go. I'm going with her because we're married and we have kids and stuff like that. So that's, that's reasonable. That's one of the things you get when you're married in the military. You're going to be moving around a lot. Oh, excuse me. So that's one. Then you have 2 who are married, a man and a woman who are married. They're police officers in the police force who are married. They were having some personal issues, so they quit so they could work out their personal issues. So there's 3 right there. And that one, again, I can see maybe being okay. That left 1 police officer to police this town. Now, normally that would be enough until they get, they would get reinforcements in. I'm sure they would, send out people, hey, we have this job openings, come in, stuff like that. However, this one guy who was left, he had a month-long Scottish holiday already planned. Now, this is before he knew any of these 3 were going to be quitting themselves. He thought, I'm going to take this month-long vacation I've been planning for and saving for years. I'm going to take it to Scotland. I'm going to go to Scotland. I'm going to take this vacation because I need it. I deserve it. And the other 3 will be able to cover. They can get someone in temporarily to cover for him for the month, and he'll be back, and everything will be back to normal. But now he's the only police officer left in this town. And they told him, you can't take your trip because we need police officers here in order that the people feel protected. And we have protection here in case something happens. And we'll work extra hard to try to get police officers in. But, got to train them and got to get them in here. And it's really hard. You got to do the interview process and go through background checks, stuff like that. That guy's like, nope. I've spent too much money, spent too much time. I've been wanting this forever. I'm just going to quit. I'm going to take my vacation. And they said, well, if you take your vacation, you ain't coming back here because we're not going to rehire you back. So I was like, okay, fine. And he did his trip to Scotland. So now you had no police officers in this town. So what are you going to do now? Well, the state police were called in to cover the security, the policing of that small town while they got a bunch of people in. They hired a chief by the name of Roger Bacon, which is funny because that's my stepdad's name. It's not him, but it's funny that this guy who's part of the story I'm telling right now has the same name as my stepdad. And he was hired, and this was 5 days later, then they hired a bunch of officers. So now they're back at full control. But it was a funny story that it just led to all these people quitting, these 4 police officers quitting, that a whole town's police force just quit. for different various reasons. Ottawa. The Ottawa Archbishop is surprised by negative reaction to the robotic spider statue he had on his church, on his cathedral. There was a giant, big-ass robotic spider on his church, and people didn't like it, and he couldn't fathom why. His name is the spider was named Kevin, and it was part of a art fest show to celebrate Canada's 150th birthday. But a giant robotic spider on the top of a church, it doesn't click. It doesn't make sense. So I found that as a fascinating story. Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman is the $800 million woman. Her movie has made $800 million worldwide. Sequel's already been greenlit. Joss Whedon, who has taken over from Zack Snyder to redo reshoots for the Justice League movie, has added a whole bunch of new Wonder Woman scenes because, hey, everybody loves Wonder Woman. She's more popular than Batman now because she just is. And now word came down not too recently that the Flash movie that's been in limbo forever is now moving forward, is going to be a Flashpoint movie, which is something really stupid that I'll talk with MJ Khan in a couple weeks about. But I just want to mention this because it just mentioned that, oh yeah, Gal Gadot is going to be in this too. Gee, I wonder why. Is it because Wonder Woman is hugely popular now and they think that we'll just stuff Wonder Woman into every movie and it'll drag out $800 million for all these movies? I don't think so. But MJ and I will talk about that on our comic show later on, so this is what I'll come back to. Robert Hardy, who played Cornelius Fudge in the Harry Potter movies, passed away this week also at the age of 91, so rest in peace to you. Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid himself, who still looks like he's a teenager. He just does. Has signed on to do a Karate Kid TV show called Cobra Kai. I don't know the premise behind it. Is he going to be the Mr. Miyagi and he's going to train another Karate Kid thing, or is he going to be involved with the Cobra Kai people? Does that mean the Cobra Kai people are going to be in the movie also, or the TV show also? It's possible because they haven't been doing anything, so why not get the whole band together and have a fun old show? I don't know what network it's going to be on, but they were talking about it, and that's, I guess, pretty interesting. Sticking with comics just real quick, I'm kind of bummed because I won't be able to get comics next week because the Outer Banks tends not to have a comic book store because, you know, even though it's big during the holidays, or not that, during the summer, in the off season, there's not a lot of people who live there that probably would be able to keep a comic book store afloat down the Outer Banks. So there's no comic book store down there. So I will be unable to pick up one of my most anticipated books of the year, Mr. Miracle, written by Tom King. With art by, well, I'll talk about my comic book show later on. Geddes, I think, is his name. Mitch Gerards or Geddes or something like that. So I'll miss out on getting it when it comes out on Wednesday. People are already talking about how great it is, who've seen advanced copies of it. I'm really excited for it. I'll be back on Sunday, so I can go to the comic book store on Monday because they don't start putting the comics for that week up on the shelf and make room for the new stuff until Tuesday. So I'll be able to pick it up there. So that's interesting. Two separate couples did two interesting things. One couple got married in a Taco Bell. Yeah, got married in a Taco Bell. Their cake was their Cinnabon dessert or whatever. They had Taco Bell food for their wedding reception. They had a bouquet of hot sauce packets. I mean, if you love Taco Bell and you met maybe the love of your life or the one you want to be married to at Taco Bell, I guess it makes sense. It's just kind of weird, you know. I mean, because technically you get married anywhere as long as you have someone who signs off on it officially. You have to go down when you get married. You got to go down to the courthouse and get the proper papers and sign them, and then you're basically get someone to sign them. Just as a piece or whatever, and you're legally married. You don't need to go through the pomp and circumstance of a wedding. That's why people go down to City Hall and just have it signed and they're married, or then they have like a little get together where they say these vows to each other and that's it. They don't want, if they don't want to get involved in the church, which is fine. And then of course, church wedding is always nice too, because when you think it's always really nice. My wedding was excellent, was in a church. It was great. And then there are other people that, you get married in Las Vegas or whatever. You just need someone to sign off on it, just so the piece, whatever, they sign off on the wedding license. Guess what? You're married. That's all you really need right now. If you want to get married, say, hey, you want to get married? Okay. You go down just a piece. We want to get married. Okay. Sign here. Blah, blah, blah. Pay whatever this. Here you go. And I'll sign this. Boom. Guess what? Pff, you're married here. That's it. That's really all it is. So I guess, if you want to get married Taco Bell, get married Taco Bell. I don't care. It's cool. This is other story. This other couple is fascinating. And I cannot even imagine how it could be done. But I suppose it would be fantastic. A couple had sex while skydiving. Skydiving sex. Did you jump out naked and do it that way in midair while you're plummeting? Now I could guess, are you holding on to each other? Are you able to insert in the air while you're spiraling down there? I mean, I guess I can understand maybe the thrill of, you don't know if you're going to die or just drifting through the air, but having sex while skydiving, I guess it's possible. I just can't imagine how it could be done. Voltron Legos, my wife loves Voltron, and they're releasing the classic Voltron in Lego form, so that's pretty cool. Maybe time for Christmas. That could be your Christmas present. Wine in a can. I saw this today. Francis Ford Coppola, the director who directed the Godfather movies and a bunch of other stuff as well, he has his own winery. And I love it. His wines are fantastic. They're expensive, but they're fantastic. This is his Pinot Noir. It's fantastic. I like saying the word fantastic because it really is. If you've never had Coppola wine before, I highly recommend go out and get it because they have all costs. They have table wine, they have reds, they have whites. As I said, they go anywhere between like a $15 to $20 range. Now they're releasing wine in cans, and that's kind of interesting. Beers in cans, beers in bottles too. But to have wine in a can, that's interesting. And Coppola's doing is at the forefront of this. So they're going to be either they made a specific wine for cans, or they're just taking, instead of bottling their wine, they're canning it. As I said, I haven't seen any in any liquor stores. I haven't really been looking for it because I didn't know there was such a thing. But canned wine. Yeah, we had box wine, yeah, but this is cans, 6-pack of wine. You grab one, and you're on the beach sucking down a wine, not a beer, in a can. It's pretty cool. And it's a Coppola wine on top of that, which is fantastic. I'm almost done, Scotty. I can feel it just... let's talk about holidays, and then I'm going to get the heck out of here because... Oh, no, actually, no. I got 2 more things. A Texas man shot an armadillo who entered his yard looking for food. However, the bullet ricocheted off of the hard shell of the armadillo, came back and hit the shooter in the either face or arm or something. It wasn't a fatal shot, but it ricocheted back, and some people have been calling it karma because why are you shooting a defenseless animal? He's just walking through your yard, But then there are other people who live around armadillos who say, yeah, they carry diseases and stuff. So I don't know which side to take on this, but the fact is he tried to shoot an armadillo on his property who was just wandering around looking for food. The shell was so hard on the armadillo that it reflected the bullet back at him, and it hit the guy instead. It's interesting. Actually, I'll save this for the very last story because this is like the greatest story of all time. Instant karma. Yeah, there you go. We'll do my holidays. Again, if you've been watching the show, as Scott always does, so he knows what I'm getting ready to go forward to. And I'm slurring my voice because I'm drunk and tired. I'm not drunk. I'm buzzed because I'm tired. I've been drinking beer, and I haven't drunk beer in a while. I do Check Guy Day, which is every day is a holiday, and this is a website, and it's on Twitter also, which literally proves every day is a holiday. Today is Brahm Pie Day, whatever that is. It's Hooray for Kids Day. It's International Beer Day. That's what I'm drinking. It's National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. I need to get some chocolate chip cookies. I don't think we have any, though. It's National White Wine Day. Sweet. It's Single Working Women's Day. And it's U.S. Coast Guard Day. That was today. Yesterday was Airplane Crop Duster Day, Esther Day, Grab Some Nuts Day. Really, that's what it says, Grab Some Nuts Day. National Lapa Day. IPA Day. I was like, okay, what is that? It's beer. National IPA Day. National Watermelon Day was yesterday. Wednesday was Dinosaur Day, National Coloring Book Day, National Ice Cream Sandwich Day. And then tomorrow, Saturday, let's see what we got. Saturday is checkid.com. Saturday is, come on, man, you're going slow. Saturday's holidays are Green Peppers Day. So if you like green peppers, definitely go after it. I hate green peppers. I detest them. I think they're the worst vegetable of all kind, and they're evil and should be destroyed. International Traffic Light Day, Mead Day. You know, honey wine is actually pretty good. National Disc Golf Day, which is interesting. We have a really good disc golf course at Druid Hill Park down in Baltimore City. It's National Mustard Day. I hate mustard. Oh, it's National Oyster Day. I like oysters. It's National Underwear Day. I'm going to buy new underwear tomorrow. Literally, I was going to. I was going to buy my son some new ones too. And it's Taxpayer Appreciation Day. So that's it for Saturday. So some interesting stuff to celebrate. As I said, these are all real holidays too. Someone somewhere introduced legislation in the government or local government or whatever, and actually literally is like the word I keep using. I shouldn't keep using that. Created these holidays. So every day is a holiday, and this is proof of it. So it's checkiday.com. You can check that on your website, or at checkiday on Twitter, and it's a good thing to follow. So before I totally pass out, the big news of the day, which I just learned today, let me see if I can find a picture of it. I did not know this existed. Oh, did we lose? No, we did not. Hold on a second. Come on, I just need to check something about the Orioles. Oh, crap. We lost 5-2. Frick. We were winning 2-1 in the 8th inning. Oh, that's bullshit. The big news, and Scott, are you still there? You just left. The big news, let me see if I can find it here, is people out there know I'm a Reese's Peanut Butter freak. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are one of my favorites. But, where is it? I haven't got it yet. No, I didn't. But I just discovered today Reese's Peanut Butter Cup coffee creamers. Reese's Peanut Butter Cup coffee creamers from International Delight, which is my favorite creamer country. I can't drink coffee black, and regular cream just doesn't do it for me. I need to have the flavored creams. Reese's Peanut Butter Cup creamer. Only available apparently at Walmart. I didn't even know it existed till I saw that article. So I'm going to have to go to my local Walmart. Well, maybe not today, or rather tomorrow, because we're going to be on vacation. I'm not going to drive it down in hot conditions and carry a stupid cooler around with ice in it. Yeah, it's go for Walmart. This is what they're saying is where it's at. Scott, he seems excited about it too. But that's not the only thing. Krispy Kremes. If you have Krispy Kremes near you, they have a peanut butter cup donut coming out, which is going to have a filling, which is going to be, it looks like peanut butter to me, but it might be a Reese's peanut butter filling, possibly chocolate top donut with nut sprinkles on it. So that looks pretty good. Again, there's an interesting story about Krispy Kreme. Actually, we had one Krispy Kreme up here in Owings Mills, and we have one in Cockeysville, which is about 20 minutes from here. Those are the only two that I know of in this area. The one in Cockeysville closed became a bank. The one up here in Owings Mills is interesting. It closed also, but no one ever took over the building. So the building had been sitting abandoned in their location. It was a smaller location, had a little parking spot right off of Reisterstown Road, right near an apartment complex. And it sat abandoned forever. I mean, no one was buying the property. They had signs up saying, hey, for sale, come buy this property. No one was biting for whatever reason. The price was too steep or some, I don't exactly know why it wasn't. It's actually a pretty good spot. And it just got better, and I'll explain that in a second. So over the years, the plants and trees and grass and stuff like that, okay, you have several. So go ahead, check it out then, Scott. Go see if they have any. It's either peanut butter cup donuts or peanut butter. I'm not exactly sure. It has the cream inside and the peanut butter like flavored cream inside and chocolate and nuts on top of it. So, so the trees and the grass and vines, stuff like that, have all overgrown this building, and it looks like, you know, something out of, I don't know, a creepy little thing. It's like it's a building that's still standing. It's got trees and grass and bushes and shit all over it. Across the street from it now, they built up an old Solo Cup plant. It was a plant that used to create the Solo Cups, you know, the red Solo Cups, stuff like that. That moved to some other location, and then this plant had been sitting, and it's about a block wide. Has been sitting forever. It might be like close to 2 blocks. It is a huge factory. It was sitting forever till someone bought it and decided we're going to turn it into a shopping area. So they tore down the plant. They took a few years to dig it out, and now they've opened, I think it was last fall, they opened the shopping area. It has a Wegmans, and it's got all these other, it's got LA Fitness, it's got like restaurants, it's got liquor stores, it's got banks, it's a really nice shopping center. You can walk around in it. It's fancy, and it's got stuff that we never had in this area before. So this area is now built up. So across the street is still this location for where Krispy Kreme used to be, and this overgrown property. Well, I just learned that Krispy Kreme decided, you know what, we should move back into the Owings Mills area, but where should we go? They bought the old building that they had their old Krispy Kreme building in. They bought it and are presently refurbishing it back into a Krispy Kreme. It's just so funny because now they're across the street from the big shopping center. So you're going to be able to get more traffic that way. It's just funny that no one bought that property. And then Krispy Kreme bought it again, and they probably don't have to refurbish it as much because it probably still has the same layout and setup inside. The equipment's probably gone by then, but they might have the same, well, we always put the thing here and we've got the power. Well, look at that. We got the power already set there. We got it. It's almost as if we were here before. I just find that funny. So Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Creamer is now available at Walmart. Apparently, they said we've heard it's available at Walmart, or it's going to be coming soon. So Scott, if you don't see it in Walmart right away, just don't give up. They say it may or may not be coming up anytime soon. So on that note, we had a bit of a situation. That's the end of the episode. Thanks to Scott Troutman again, as always, for watching and informing me of the situation. I'll have to go back and replay the video to see if the sound really was bad on it. If it wasn't, it's okay. I've done episodes before where I've had to do 2 parts. And so since the sound is good in this one, I was able to cover everything I wanted to. And I really feel like I'm drunk, but I'm not, because I'm not that much of a lightweight. I'm really tired. So hopefully stay tuned for a new episode of the Comic Haul. I got to go upstairs to get my comics. I got to finish the beer. Not much in it left. I like to nurse my beers. And I'll be on vacation, so there's going to be no new Dylan Knows next week. I did 2 episodes this week. Well, technically 2.5 if you want to count this one. 2 episodes this week, so I'm taking off next week. So no Comic Haul, no Dylan Knows. You may see me pop up on Facebook Live from the beach if I decide to be a dick about it. That's one of the things I've told my bosses. Like, I'm probably going to do a Facebook Live on like a Monday morning and say, hey, guys, look at me. I'm out on the beach drinking beer. Yeah, how's it going up there? Yeah. They said they would kill me. Anyway, again, thanks for watching, Scott. I think next week, the next episode of Dylan Knows, let me see. That would be the weekend of the 19th and 20th. I think it's going to be the long-awaited return of Jerry Fletcher. I got to double check that and verify if she still wants to do it. Yep, August 18th to 20th. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That weekend is good. All right, so my next episode, this is also funny. This is my vacation. I need a vacation. I've just finished a run of probably, what was it, Scott? Had to be about 12 episodes where I was by myself. That's a lot of episodes of me just talking to you, Scott. So, and everybody else out there. I've had other viewers in there, and unfortunately, I had the my Amy Figaro remembrance episode in there as well, and stuff like that. But I was by myself for the most part. So finally, episode 204 will bring back Jerry Fletcher, and I'm hoping episode 205 will bring back MJ Khan to the fold as well, and we'll reorient ourselves after that and try to get back to at least 2 weeks during the month having Jerry and MJ on. And Scott, sometime I got to have you on, buddy. You're fantastic. I appreciate everything you do. So thanks for watching, Scott. Everyone else who's watching on tape delay, thank you for watching. Watch both episodes. This one's probably better than the other one because the sound may have cut out on the other one. I'll try to push both of these. It's going to be hard for me to promote both of these. So one of these two is probably not going to get a lot of views. Primarily probably this one, but I might push this one more because there's more info in this one than the other one. That being said, I got to wake myself up. I got to get out of this haze because I got to work another about half hour to do my comic show. So stay tuned if you want to find out what comic books I bought this week, what's out this week in comic book world, and see some artwork about it. Stay tuned. I'll probably be up and running in about 10 to 15 minutes. So give me a little bit of time to go upstairs, get my comics, redo some stuff, and I'll be back down here for that. Again, Scott, thank you very much. Everybody else who's watching on tape delay, thank you for watching. Watch both parts. If you just found this one, there is a previous part. Watch it for the first half, and if the sound goes out, you can drop out and come back into this one. Or if the sound is okay on that one, I've just repeated some stuff in this one just so everyone gets everything I want to talk about. So as you can see, I'm getting a little slurry, so I got to turn it off. Goodbye. I'm on vacation.